Welcome to the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast, your one-stop shop for television, movie, video games, comic books, book reviews, and more. Now, without further ado, here's Steven and Mike.
You talk first. I talk first.
Good morning, Geekdom! Welcome, everybody, to the Two Geeks and a Microphone show. We are so glad you are joining us today. I am your co-host, Mr. Stephen Boster, along with my illustrious co-host, the one, the only, Mr. Michael Shanks. Mike, say hey to everybody.
Hey, everybody. Good morning out there in Geekdom land.
You know, after all this time, every time I say hey to everybody, yeah, that's the first time you've actually said, hey, everybody.
That's because I was listening to your other podcast this week.
Oh, yeah. So, Ace Chambers is a recurring guest on there. And for those who don't know, I have a podcast called Servants by Design, a company that I own, but yeah, he says that every time.
So I thought I'd say that and see if it throws you off.
It did throw me off. That's why I'm stuttering here at the moment. Awesome. Well, hey everybody, welcome to the show. Just want to give a shout out to Megan, who is normally here. But she is not today. Mike, I want you to share that with our folks that may not know. I'm excited just for that she's doing much more
better.
I'm pausing there because I have a Rockstar energy drink, and if I keep saying it, I'm going to be totally wired by the end of this. I can't drink that much caffeine in 30 minutes. Anyway, how is Megan doing? Please tell us.
So Megan did have to have gallbladder surgery. If you follow us on Facebook, I've been posting on there pretty much all yesterday. She was having pains early Friday morning. My wife took her to the hospital around 1 a.m. yesterday morning, and they came to the conclusion that she had gallstones.
Wow.
Yeah. So the doctor said that it wasn't life-threatening or anything, but he said that there's a good possibility that the gallbladder could be inflamed, and he would prefer to remove it. So that's what they did yesterday. The operation went fine. Everything was great.
Good.
She got out she got back to her room about 6 p.m. yesterday. I want to say it took a few hours, and she was in recovery for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And she came back. She was very tired, and
sure, yeah,
her chest was she's in a little bit of chest pain right now, which he said that would happen. Actually, I've been through it. Brenda's been through it. We both had our gallbladders removed. So yeah, she's doing well. She should get to come home today, so we'll find out probably in a few hours here. And that's pretty much everything. I appreciate everyone's thoughts and prayers for her.
Yeah, you bet. No, thanks for letting us know and keeping us in the loop, by the way. So,
and she's in the comments now.
Aww. So just if you see the comments, Megan saying, I'm here in the comments. Megan, we are glad that you are doing better.
Yes.
We were worried. So glad you're doing okay. Well, yeah, because we didn't know if we were going to do the podcast this morning or not.
Yeah, I toyed with canceling it, and then I decided, you know what? We're not going to hear anything in the morning. They're slow about discharging patients there, and she's got to wait till her doctor gets in to see her. And I'm guessing he probably ain't going to get in till after lunch. So
he's probably still in bed.
Yeah, probably. I figure we might as well just go ahead live and do the episode.
Oh gosh. Well, everybody, we want to introduce our topic, but then after we just say what our topic is, we are going to do our What's on Your Geekdar.
Well, we got a little bit of news too.
Yes. So, but if you're tuning in today, we are going to talk about the DC Comics miniseries spanning the entire DC universe. And it is DCeased. Mike got me plugged in on it, and I did the first issue episode, and I really enjoyed it. So I'm looking forward to talking today about it.
It is a very good series. I highly recommend DCeased.
Yes.
But before that, let's get into some news. Oh, Mr. John Keller just popped in the chat. Good morning, John. So in DC news, in Geekdom news, San Diego Comic Con is going on. Unfortunately, I haven't been highly in tune to it. But our friend Andrew Staples over at the Escape Pod, the MCU DC Escape Pod, has done a really good job at keeping coverage on his Facebook page. So
I should have been tuning in. Sorry,
I've been kind of watching his post and stuff. So he has posted that Marvel Disney is going to release X-Men 97. Which will be a cartoon series continuing the 90s version of the X-Men.
Excelsior!
I'll be honest, I never really watched it. But I know there's lots of fans out there of that series. So I know a lot of people are really excited about it. Mm-hmm, the one I think looks interesting, though, is Spider-Man Freshman Year. That looks pretty neat.
I have not seen did they do a trailer? Because I haven't seen it.
I don't know if it's a full trailer because I haven't watched it yet.
I just saw some images and I was like, well, okay, but I'm a trailer guy. I love San Diego Comic Con for trailers.
I get it. So, and I'm sure there is a trailer. I just haven't really watched for it yet. Again, I've been kind of busy, so
right.
But
there's no excuse, Mike. No, I'm just kidding.
I spent all my day at the hospital. Actually, I spent all day reading comic books yesterday. I read the last 2 or 3 issues of DCeased and 3 issues of Moon Knight, Black, White, and Blood. 2 issues of.
Dude, Mike's catching up on his comic book reading.
Oh no, I'm nowhere near caught up. Venom Lethal Protector. Anyway, I read it.
I saw the picture. I saw the picture like, well, here's my comic book reading. I'm like, dude, those look great.
They were good. So, but the thing I find interesting about the Spider-Man Freshman Year is we're getting Daredevil in it. And it's being voiced by Matt Murdock. Or
Charlie Cox.
Yeah, Charlie Cox, who played Matt Murdock in
the Netflix.
Right, yeah. So
right on.
I'm excited about that. That's going to be really cool. And
that's neat.
And he's wearing the black Daredevil costume. So
cool.
It looks pretty cool. I'm excited about that.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay.
Other news is still rumorish.
Okay.
Okay. Well, part of it's rumorish, part of it isn't. So, rumor has it that both Zack Snyder and Henry Cavill are supposed to make appearances in Hall H
today, right? Yeah.
At San Diego Comic Con.
I heard that rumor too. Okay.
Now, unfortunately, Jim Lee, who is the CEO of DC right now, who is also a fantastic artist, by the way.
I didn't realize Jim Lee was CEO.
Yeah, he's the CEO. And he also has ties to St. Louis, too. Anyway, I digress. Jim Lee was asked directly during his panel if DC plans to continue the Zack Snyder universe.
Yeah.
Jim Lee's answer was, I was directly involved with the Zack Snyder Justice League, and I am currently not doing anything with the Zack Snyder Justice League. Now, everyone's taking that as, oh, well, that means Snyderverse is done. I'm kind of holding out to see what happens today. I think Jim Lee he can't make an announcement because that's not what he's doing. He's just doing a panel there, and if DC is going to make that kind of announcement, it's going to be big, and they're not going to allow just Jim Lee just to do it in a simple panel. It's
right.
If it's going to happen, it's going to happen over in Hall H, because that's where all the big announcements happen. So
right.
I'm holding out to see, one, does Zack Snyder actually show up there? Two, does Henry Cavill actually show up there? If the two of them show up, I think that's confirmation we're continuing the Zack Snyder verse.
I don't know. I would rather see Man of Steel 2.
Well, I would too, but that's Zack Snyder. That's
true. So it may be Man of Steel 2 instead of Zack Snyder's.
But that's still, even if it's Man of Steel 2, it's continuing the Zack Snyder verse.
Fair enough.
He did Man of Steel. He did Batman v Superman, and he did he started Justice League, and then it was taken over by Joss Whedon, and Joss Whedon screwed it up. Sorry, Marvel fans, but he screwed it up. It was terrible. And then we got the Zack Snyder cut, which was much more
better. Cheers, everybody. So I am going to be so caffeined up by the end of the show.
Oh, 3 Geeky Dads said, excellent point, Michael. Too quick to jump.
Derek goes, Whedon is overrated.
I think I agree, Derek.
I, in all fairness, I think Whedonverse, in other words, Whedon's Firefly, I absolutely adore and love.
Agree.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I've only seen some episodes of that.
Never watched it, but I know it's a well-loved series.
Angel, the spinoff series, I liked it because of some of the snarkiness. There was more snarkiness in it, and I thought it was pretty good. It was good. I mean, I didn't watch the whole series. I just, watched some, but I just thought it was in those realms where he is the creator of those. I think he does fabulous when he comes into something. And this was even with Marvel, even though I enjoyed the first Avengers. I think it was the first Avengers, maybe, but especially when he came into Justice League, he just
that was terrible.
Poo-pooed on the vision.
Now, I will say this: Batman v Superman was a mess. I think Zach,
too much in one movie.
Yeah, Zach took too much, put it in one movie because he tried to cram two big storylines together, and that should have been divided into two different movies. Honestly, because you should have had the Dark Knight, you should have had the Death of Superman. And man, it's hard to do that, really. I don't know. It's just he crammed too much into one film, and it didn't work. That was the problem with Batman v Superman.
Yeah,
there are some good pieces to Batman v Superman.
Yeah,
and unfortunately, it's not. Martha, why did you say that name?
Right. It was, yeah,
that was cringy and horrible.
It was pretty bad. Yeah,
but now. I like Man of Steel. I think Man of Steel is actually a good film. I know it gets hated on.
I love Man of Steel.
And I think we are going to cover Man of Steel before Shazam or before Black Adam. I think we're gonna cover Man of Steel.
Okay.
Because I'm hoping Henry Cavill comes back and we get Black Adam versus Superman. That's what I'm hoping. So if that's the case, then we need to cover Man of Steel.
All right. Okay. I'm up for it. I love Man of Steel. Henry Cavill is my favorite Superman.
I think he is the best Superman since Christopher Reeve.
Yeah. He makes a great Witcher. The Witcher was good.
I couldn't get into The Witcher. I tried.
That's okay. That's all right.
I like it, but I just, I don't know. I just couldn't get into it.
Look, did you watch Lord of the Rings?
Well, of course I watched Lord of the Rings.
Did you enjoy Lord of the Rings?
Yes. Very much.
You enjoyed The Witcher because you're still in the fantasy realm.
Yeah, I'll give it another shot. I don't know. I think I couldn't get over Henry Cavill being blonde. There was something about that just bugged me. I was
okay,
like,
that's all part of The Witcher, but I get you. Yeah. Yep. So let me ask you this. So, what? Well, first of all, what do you have other news that you wanted to cover?
That's all the news I have right now because, like I said, I haven't really been able to keep up on San Diego Comic-Con as much as I'd like to.
Right. Okay.
I don't know if there's any real big Star Wars news that was released. We know Andor's coming out for sure.
Yeah, I haven't. I figured a lot of stuff happens on Saturday. A lot of stuff will happen today.
Yeah. Apparently, there was a trailer released for Andor. I haven't watched it yet. But
I saw it.
Okay, you saw it?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Somebody showed a clip from it. I mean, it was just a still from it.
And
it showed a X-wing pilot in a guillotine, and I was just like, my jaw about dropped. I was like,
I didn't.
Holy crap.
I didn't see that in the trailer, but that picture was the thumbnail that made me want to click on it.
Yeah.
And
so you're saying it was clickbait?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know, but it was kind of cool. It was like a half speeder bike kind of a thing, and then the laser guillotine kind of a thing, which I thought, well, that's kind of weird, but
I mean, if they're
French Revolution meets
right, yeah, if they're beheading X-wing pilots, this is going to be freaking intense.
Right, it's going to be dark. Dark Star Wars. Wow. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. So we're 17 minutes in. So we've got a couple more things we want to hit real quick. So
right.
First off, I love trailers, and I love Comic-Con because of trailers. And so there was a trailer that was released that was the new Dungeons and Dragons movie. I want to bring in Angie because Angie has done kind of a hi, Angie. Say hey to everybody.
Hello, everybody.
All right, so real quick, I want to let everybody know Angie has her own Facebook page. Angie, I want you to talk about that like in 15 seconds, but then your latest review, give me like a minute on that because I want to talk about this Dungeons and Dragons thing, but also give everybody kind of a clue of what's on your Facebook page. So go for it.
Okay, so I'll try to be brief on this. Basically, TNR or the Narrow Road is essentially like a hodgepodge of kind of like nerdy things like what you guys talk about, but it's also like some of my favorite books because I love to read, and just a very chill place that, people could come together and just talk about like a smorgasbord of things.
I like it.
And so, that's what it's about. And then, as far as the Dungeons and Dragons thing, like, oh my God, my mind is blown. So,
mind blown. I like that. Yes.
I have been a fan of D&D for the last 7.5 years because my ex's brother on Thanksgiving one year wanted to play like a one shot real quick. And he asked him, he was like, do you think she would like this? And he was like, you can ask her. And so basically he introduced me, and now years later, I've been a DM a couple times, Dungeon Master. And I've played a couple one shots as well as 1 or 2 campaigns. And I think with the Dungeons and Dragons, I love the community because most of them are very like awesome and everything. And so I know for the last like 10 years, but really the last 6 years, they have talked about wanting to do a proper D&D movie because all the ones in the past have just been lame and whatever and didn't do it justice. They were just
terrible.
Horrible. Who was the one that played Scar? I can't think of his name right now.
I don't remember.
And
I just saw the cast for this one, and my jaw dropped.
Yeah, so in Lion King, the guy that plays Scar, I can't think of his name, but he's
Jeremy Irons.
Thank you. Okay, so the one Dungeons and Dragons that I did see, and I only saw like once or twice, he played in there. He was phenomenal, but the rest of the movie sucked. And so when they were talking about it 6 years ago, thanks, Derek.
Yeah, Derek.
So when they were talking about it 6 years ago, they were like, we are planning to do it. We want to do it justice. We've been working on it for the last 2 years.
Right. Megan, I was trying to look it up. Oh, Megan, you need to rest.
She's trying. She's trying.
Thank you, Megan.
Yeah. But thanks, Maggie. But yeah, so anyways, fast forward to this. And I had saved it because I was going to do a reaction video. And so Chris, he came in and he was like, oh my gosh, did you see this? Blah, blah, blah. And so he put it on. And I really wish that he would have told me before he put it on because I was in tears. It was so beautifully done. And I'm not going to give away a bunch of stuff because if people want to go check out my review,
Yeah, go check out the review. If you haven't seen it, you need to, if you love fantasy, watch it. Yeah.
I feel like it was really well done. They incorporated different things like the different classes. They incorporated an owlbear.
For those that are D&D
nerds,
it's
It was pretty epic.
Awesome. Yes, it is good. So
yeah.
All right. Well, cool. Well, yeah. Well, I wanted to give a shout out to your Facebook page and stuff like that, so people can tune in.
It's a very small community, but
you're just getting started too, kind of a thing, and it'll be great. So everybody, check that out. Make sure you like the page so you can get the updates and stuff when she posts. Because you also did a Miss Marvel review too.
I did.
I covered Miss Marvel, so thumbs up, thumbs down.
Well, the beginning part was kind of, and then when we got to episode 4, it started picking up. It doesn't really follow the comics, which I was very sad about because in the comics, I liked her because she was so different and she had like a little bit of different people's powers, but for the most part, she was her own identity, which was cool. It wasn't like she was trying to rip somebody off. And by the end of the show, I forgot that it didn't follow the comics and it was just like really, really good. And so I was like, why couldn't the rest of this show be like this? Like it was really well done. And the last episode was probably my favorite because even though, like I said, it didn't follow the comics, they left a lot of Easter eggs in there. And they showed a lot of like the artwork from different fans and stuff like that from the comics. And then they showed a lot of stuff. It felt like they were like, okay, for the last one, we're going to really like go all out so we can make sure we're including the comic book fans. And it was done. It was done really well.
So each episode got better than the one before.
Yeah. I mean, like 1 through 3, I was trying to not be biased. I'm going to be honest, because I kept watching 1 through 3 and I was like, that's not how her powers work. Or that's not how her backstory is. And blah, 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 blah. Right. But 4, I feel like they tied it in well enough that like, even though I was watching it, I was like, okay, well, it doesn't quite follow the comics, but the storyline's really, really good. And they're trying to do her justice. So I feel like by 4, I was hooked. So
overall, you would recommend the series?
Yeah. I would say at least watch it. And if you haven't read the comics, you'll probably enjoy it more. But because in the back of my brain, I was like, that's not how that worked. Or that's not how that worked. We
all do that, though. We all,
I know.
We all do that.
Right.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
But like in my review that I did, because her famous thing in the comics is embeggen. She uses that where her grandma, I think it's like an Indian term. And so like her grandma told her that like if she's ever scared or something to say that word. And in the comics, that's what she uses to like stretch and all this other kind of stuff. And so in my review, I said, I give it basic like a 8 out of 10 embeggens because it was good, but I feel like it could have been better.
Right. Gotcha.
So yeah.
Cool. Very cool.
It's not bad.
Cool.
Okay,
All right. Well,
I knew
thanks,
you watched
Angie.
it, and we wanted to let you give a shout out on it and stuff. Since
For people to check out your page to get the full lowdown.
Yes. And as a true Marvel show, they do a end credit in the last episode that everybody's got to watch. So
okay.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Good to know. Awesome.
So yeah, it was good. It wasn't my favorite, but it was good. Because I know that they're going to eventually do like a second season after they show her in the Marvels. If they do it like they did episodes 4 through 6, it's going to be phenomenal.
Cool.
Nice.
And I loved the actress because she's a true nerd. Like, apparently she's read all the comics like I have. And it was funny when they asked her, like, if she stole anything from the set. She was like, I stole so many things. She's like, I had boxes upon boxes delivered to my house. She goes, yeah. It was really funny. But yeah.
Nice.
Very cool. All right. Well, thank you, Angie. Yes. Gosh, we're almost halfway through already, so we better hurry up and get on.
Yeah, we haven't even done Geekdar, and I got something for Geekdar. So
okay, awesome. Bye, Angie. Thank you.
All right. So real quick.
Yeah, I have one thing for Geekdar too. So
you don't need that, Private. We're right here now. What is it? Now, what is it? I'm having trouble with the radar, sir.
What's wrong with it?
I've lost the bleeps, I've lost the sweeps, and I've lost the creeps.
The what? The what? And the what?
You know, the bleeps, the sweeps, and the creeps.
Always lost.
That's not always lost.
I absolutely love that. All right, Steven. So what's on your Geekdar?
All right, I'm going to keep it short. We're running out of time. So I watched a movie last night on Netflix called The Gray Man, and it's with Ryan Gosling, Anna de Armas, Billy Bob Thornton, just an incredible cast. And it's kind of like, I love spy movies, or, those kinds of, he's a special operative, or, CIA special operative. Is probably the best way to say it. It is really, really good. It is directed by the Russo brothers, who did Captain America Civil War, Captain America Winter Soldier, Avengers Infinity War, and Avengers Endgame.
Nice.
And let me tell you, this
and
is
Stranger Things.
No, that's a different set of brothers. That's a different set of brothers. But anyway, it is probably by far for me the best Netflix movie. In other words, it's a Netflix presentation of all their movies that have done. For me, it is their number one. It's the best movie they've ever done. Cool. It is worth watching. If you love espionage, or if you like, who's the bad guy kind of a thing with some just the action sequences were so tense and exhausting. I mean, it was that good. Nice. So, yeah. All right. So anyway, watch it. It's great. I'll probably try to do a little, maybe I'll do a review of it for everybody. Okay. So go for it.
So I got two things on my Geekdar. One, I finished up the Chris Pratt show. What is the name of that?
The Terminal List. Yeah, Terminal List. Finished it. Excellent.
That is a fantastic show. Very good.
That's a great show.
High praise to that show. So that's
on Amazon Prime.
The second thing would be a comic book. A comic book I have been waiting for several months now. It would be the new Fantastic Four.
What?
Which includes the Joe Fixit Incredible Hulk, Wolverine, Ghost Rider, and Spider-Man. I'm like, okay, that's my Fantastic Four right there.
So we have to talk about that. Okay.
So a few months ago, I went into Fantasy Books, and they had a big poster as I walked in. And I saw this, and I was just totally geeking out. I'm like, oh, this is so cool. And I asked the guy about it. I'm like, wait a minute, is this just a special art, or is this something that's coming out? And the guy said, well, actually, it was a comic that was released in the 90s, and it's getting re-released. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. And he's like, no. And I said, okay, this has got to go on my pull list. So I ran to the other fantasy store and made sure, because that's the one where I have my pull list.
Oh, your pull list. Okay.
Right. I ran to the Belleville one and had them put it on my pull list. So last week, I go into fantasy over in O'Fallon, and which is where I saw the poster originally. And I'm happen to look at their wall and everything, and I see it on the wall, and I'm like, oh, it's out. It's out. Oh, sweet. I got to run. I ran out the car. I'm like, Brenda, we got to go over to Belleville because I got to go get my pull. So I run over to Belleville, and I ask them for my pull, right? They pull it out, and I had like 3 issues in there, and I'm going, there's no new Fantastic Four. And she's like, what are you talking about? I says, well, I was just over in O'Fallon, and they have the new Fantastic Four. And she goes, that's not supposed to be put on the shelf till tomorrow. And I went, I didn't say anything. So she and I were kind of discussing this, and we come to the conclusion that what she was talking about was actually issue number 2. And I had already received issue number 1 in my pull the week before. And I was like, no, I didn't. She goes, yes, you did. I was like, all right, I'll have to go home and look, because that was the $60 pack.
Oh, the $60 pull. Right, that we talked about.
And I was so excited about the Flash, because the new Flashpoint story, I had 2 issues from that. I was more excited about that at that time, that I pulled those out, read those, and then kind of the rest I just kind of sat. It's been waiting for me.
Gotcha.
So I went home and looked, and sure enough, the issue was in that bundle. So,
right on.
She was right. I just
somebody else was right. What?
Yeah,
and Mike was wrong.
It wasn't Steven either. So that's what's on my Geeked are right now. And so issue 1, which is the one I showed, issue 2 has the Human Torch and Ghost Rider on the cover, which is a pretty phenomenal cover too. So I highly recommend checking out the new Fantastic Four. It's pretty cool. And it's going to be just a short run, so probably a few issues.
Gotcha. Very cool. All right. Back to the main event. Here we go, everybody.
Main event.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Let's get ready to rumble. Right. Maybe I need to do a sound clip for that.
That would be kind of fun. Yeah. On your mini to-do list items.
I can get that done. I can push that out pretty quick. Anyway.
All right. So everybody, as we talked before in the previous episode, Mike brought up DCeased and asked him how it was. He said it was really good. I got intrigued, and I read the first issue, and I was just blown away. I really enjoyed it. I mean, and I was like, oh, what a unique concept. And we'll talk about that in a minute. Mm-hmm. And but this is a 2019 series run, and there are several other parts to DCeased that are some other, would you say offshoots? Probably offshoots, because DCeased, the main series, happens, and then it seems the offshoots are things that are happening within the main series. Is that a fair assessment?
I believe it was a big, giant crossover event. So I think that there's several one-shot issues, through other, you probably get it through Superman, Batman, so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. But if you follow, like if you go into the DC, what is DC calling theirs? DC Infinity or Infinite. Mm-hmm. If you go into the DC Infinite, if you have a subscription to that.
Oh, the app Infinite. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you go to the app, it has the breakdown of the main issues, or you can do like I did and you can just buy the trades.
I'm reading it on the app. Yeah, on my tablet, actually, not on my phone. It's great on my tablet. So yeah, go ahead.
That's cool. I read it on the trades, and either way it's great. But the trades will give you everything you need, and the app, if you can just follow the main storyline on the app, and it will give you all those issues, which is what Steven's doing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's fabulous. Fabulous. Okay. So Mike and I said, well, let's just talk about it. So we thought first we were going to try to read all of them. And I'm like, Mike, there's no way we can do all this in one episode. So today is part 1. And so today we hope to talk about DCeased, the original 6 issues. Fabulous cover. Everybody, Mike's showing the cover with Batman. Looking all zombified
Batman,
right? But he's not a zombie. We'll talk about that in a minute. Even though technically, I guess you would say, I thought it was a great way for DC to have their own zombie, kind of thing. Even though it's not a zombie, but it is. Then there was a one shot. The one shot was called "A Good Day to Die," and
I never did get to read that, so it's going to be
interesting. Okay. That's fine. We'll skip that until you read it because it looked like it's a to be continued kind of a thing.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, well, but it's only one, but it actually leads into another series. So some of those characters come back.
So you read the storyline. You read DCeased.
Yeah, the main 6 issues. Yes.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I was going to say that's the first 6 issues.
Yeah. Then A Good Day to Die, and then Unkillables.
Okay. All right. Cool.
And I have to admit, I think Unkillables was my favorite out of it. If I had to pick.
Okay. So we're going DCeased, and then are we doing?
We'll just do Unkillables.
Okay. Unkillables.
Because I want you to be able to read the Good Day to Die, and then there's Hope at World's End, Dead Planet, and War of the Undead Gods. So there's a lot to this series, but it's really good.
Oh, this is so good, and I like DC's take on the whole zombie genre. It's different than the most of the zombie genres out there.
It's unique and it's really well done.
Yeah, because you got this techno aspect to it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So give the synopsis.
So basically, what happens is in the beginning, you have just your generic, usual Justice League is fighting Darkseid.
Yeah.
And they defeat Darkseid. And they're sending Darkseid back to Apocalypse and everything. And
Darkseid's, I got what I came for.
Right. And Darkseid says, I got what I came for.
Yeah.
And Green Arrow's just like, I'm not sure now that this was as much of a success as we thought with that ominous statement of his.
Right.
Fantastic. I loved it.
Yes. Yeah.
So then hence you go back to Apocalypse, and him and DCeased have Cyborg.
Yeah.
And they're basically implanting a virus in Cyborg. It's the anti-life equation, which will infect the entire Earth population through any screen that you're looking at.
So it's a /techno. I guess I would call it techno virus. It's digital but organic at the same time.
At the same time, so you can either get it through technology, or you could still be bit and get it that way. Either way, so I like the twist that DC added to this. I thought it was very interesting and different from the usual zombie genre. And then you add superheroes into the mix, and they become zombies. Oh yeah, you just stepped your zombie game up to 10
whole new level, right?
Oh,
yes, yeah. I got to talk about some of my favorite surprises, but we'll get to those. Yeah. So if you were to rate it like we normally, it's a comic book series. If you had to rate it, what would you rate this series?
Oh, first of all, what's our scale?
Great question.
Zombie Batmans?
Yes, let's do it. Yes, right. Zombie Batman.
This is okay. I am more apt to give a comic book a 10 than I would a movie. And
okay,
the 10. This is 10 Zombie Batman.
Wow. Okay.
I love this series. This series is just fantastic. It's hard to put down. It is so good. It is so good. It's such a fun read. Such a different take on the DC universe, and you see different aspects of the characters throughout this that are really, really cool. Just different ways that, like, Damian is so much different in this than anything. In fact, I don't know how I feel about Damian in these books.
Okay. All right. We'll get to that in a little bit. So, yeah. Okay.
But oh my gosh, it is so good. So good.
All right. I'll definitely give it a 9 out of 10 for sure. For sure.
Nice.
Zombie Batmans. 9 out of 10 zombie Batmans. I love movies. I'd rather watch a movie than read a book, even though I do enjoy reading a book. And I do enjoy comic books more than I do reading regular books. So let me put it to you that way. And
wait a minute, real quick.
Yes,
we're sitting in the hospital room yesterday, right? When they're Megan off to surgery.
Okay.
Brenda looks at me and goes, you can turn the TV on. And I pulled out my bag of comic books. I go, I got something better than TV.
Oh gosh, that's pretty funny. So I enjoyed the series. I'll be open with you. I finished DCeased 1 through 6 in one sitting. I couldn't stop. And I was like, I really like this. This is an interesting take. There's some thought behind not just another zombie series, but a techno virus in what happens when you get heroes and villains involved. And there's a lot of thought that went into how they did this. It wasn't just a series of just, we'll just throw in this whole thing with zombies and stuff. No, the whole zombification is a character in and of itself in this story. And they put a lot of thought of how that would play out with every hero. You could tell they spent time. Who's going to live? Who's going to get it zombied? You know what I'm saying? What that interaction could be or would be. You can tell they put a lot of detail really thinking through this series.
Oh yeah, because when a hero or villain, either one, when they got zombified, they still had their powers.
I know, right?
It's not like they lost their powers.
Yeah.
So again, that just takes it to a
and
whole new level.
The other thing I enjoyed about it is because it was the anti-life equation. Darkseid's always been after the life equation on Earth or whatever and getting frustrated. Right. And so then they tried to do this, anti-life equation. And just so everybody knows, the very beginning, I'm going to spoil it because I want you to read this, but Darkseid is the first infected, even though they got.
Yeah, I forgot about that. You're right.
even though they gave it to Cyborg, something goes wrong. And he gets it. And what happens is the virus isn't just, they've got this virus and they want to eat brains. That's not a zombie virus. It is the anti-life equation is searching out life to destroy life. That was interesting in the whole series was the in DCeased, the main series, and in Unkillables. The issue of the virus was it was trying to attack anything alive. It almost like had a homing beacon on anything alive. And I thought that was interesting because that really came into play in Unkillables. Yes. Was it's not just if there's a zombie around us or if there's the people who are alive around us. There was like a homing beacon of anybody alive, it would go after it, kind of a thing. So not just something that's proximity either. So anyway, yeah.
And we got different takes on heroes in this too. Like for instance, in the beginning of this, you have Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, Oliver, the Green Arrow, and
Oliver Queen.
Yeah, Oliver Queen and Dinah, Black Canary. They all decide to go camping and just kind of have a relaxing, we're not going to do anything.
We're taking a day off from being heroes. We got to take a break.
Right. And then what does Hal Jordan do? Hal Jordan goes in the tent and immediately looks at his phone.
Checks his phone.
Right. Which, now he doesn't know what's going on either. And immediately we get zombified Green Lantern, which is pretty intense to begin with.
Right.
And they manage to kill Green Lantern, take him out. And when they do, the ring goes to Dinah.
Yeah. That's great.
Green Canary. I mean,
it was awesome.
How freaking cool is that?
It was great. Yeah. Yeah. Right. They did some interesting takes with characters because they know they could for this series.
Right. Yeah. That was one of the things I really liked about this, because you just got to see different ideas, you know. And you know, it wasn't anything that, because okay, it's not a permanent effect on the DC universe. It's almost an Elseworlds.
Elseworlds. Yeah. We just dated ourselves.
That's a DC line too. Elseworlds was
It is. I mean, it was a great series when, you know, they always had Elseworlds issues and stuff. But yeah,
that Elseworlds was almost like DC's version of What If, is what Elseworlds was. Sort of.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah.
Marvel's What If. But so, you know, they could play with the characters and do different things with them, with, you know, and have different ideas. And I liked it. I liked what they did. It was really fun. And we got to see some, I guess, secondary characters shine a little bit in this. For instance, Black Canary. I mean, she's kind of a secondary character, because Black Canary almost a sidekick in a way to Green Arrow in some way.
I can see that. Sure.
I don't want to degrade her or anything, but let's face it,
she does. Yeah, it's not like she has her own level 1 comic book series kind of a thing. But I mean, she may have her own, but it's not.
But she kind of takes a back seat to Green Arrow, and this really puts her in the limelight and makes her a Green Lantern. And I really enjoyed it. I thought they did a super job on it.
Yeah. The other thing I enjoyed about it is some of the themes that you have in other comics kind of comes into kind of the forefront. For example, last week we had Derek from Three Geeky Dads on, and we talked about the Bat Family, which was great. And one of the things I was asking about was Cassandra Cain, her character and stuff like that. And, you know, her mom is Lady Shiva. And in Unkillables, you get to see that relationship. And, you know, how they're two separate, but then they end up coming together. You know, they have separate storylines that end up having to come together. And it was neat to have that family moment kind of a thing. And so they even put thoughts into some of the stuff that's happening in not the Elseworlds, let's say the main storylines, but they bring a little bit of that into the DCeased stories to kind of give it more, hey, this is kind of the same world, but it really is an Elseworld story.
Yeah, one of my favorite things happens in Unkillables. Well, a few favorite things happen in Unkillables, because one thing, Deathstroke really gets to shine in Unkillables, and you guys all know that I'm.
So yeah. Should we give the premise behind Unkillables?
Sure. Go ahead.
So Mike says, "Oh, Steven, you got to watch him, or you got to read Unkillables." And he goes, because Unkillables are those characters, DC characters, who can't die, or because of their healing factor, or, you know, for some, you know, reason they're able to fight off the, you know, this techno virus,
or supposedly,
or supposedly is absolutely right. So it's, you know, these superheroes that come together and villains, and they're villains. Yeah. Sorry. Excuse me. Yes. It's the villains that come together and who can survive this. And it really begins with Slade Wilson. The Terminator and stuff. Okay, so Mike's holding up the comic of is that issue 1?
Well, this is the trade of Unkillables.
Oh, that's the trade of Unkillables. Oh, yeah, that's such good art.
Yeah,
it's really good. And and so following Slade Wilson, he it's a great opener because he goes into this thing, these bad guys, these, how you say the white supremacist guys who are, doing bad things. And so he gets hired to go in and kill them. He walks up to the door and they're already running out, of the building. And he's like, okay, this is odd. Normally
one jumps out a window.
Yeah, right. And, busts his legs and he's still running.
His legs and he's still moving. And he's
like,
Deathstroke's like, well, that's something I've never seen before.
Yeah, there is good humor in this series too. It's dark.
Oh, Unkillables is probably the darkest part of all of DCeased.
Okay, good to know.
Well, one of my favorite things is not Damien in this, but Jason Todd. When Jason Todd returns to the Batcave and he finds.
And should we say?
Well, okay.
Spoilers, everybody. But
this is spoilers, so.
Yeah, this is spoiler talk.
If you don't want any spoilers, stop. Go read the issues.
Yes.
And then come back and listen to it.
It is worth your while.
Yeah,
I would even say.
I didn't give the spoiler alert. Sorry.
I would even say that the cost of a yearly subscription to DC Infinite, this is worth it.
This is worth it. Yeah.
This is worth it.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Go. So Unkillables is kind of after some of the main events happen in DCeased, the starter overarching series. Go. Sorry.
So in DCeased, Batman does get taken over finally. And then when he gets taken over, then also Nightwing and Timothy Drake, Robin, all three of them end up getting taken over by the virus.
Mm-hmm.
Alfred, total badass, takes out all three of them. That's so cool. Alfred kills Bruce, Tim, and Dick, all three of them.
Yeah.
So the bodies are laying in the Batcave. Jason Todd goes back to the Batcave and discovers the bodies. And Ace is there, by the way, Batman's dog. And Ace is still alive. And Jason says to Ace, "Don't worry, I'm not leaving him like this." And Jason Todd feels that they need a burial. So he buries them and makes each of them tombstones. And Batman's tombstone is the best. In fact, I think it's the only one they show the inscription that Jason makes. And Jason's inscription reads, Bruce Wayne, father, mentor, bastard, Batman.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved it. It's so Jason Todd.
Yeah.
I got to say, Jason Todd was fantastic in this series.
In the Unkillables series, he was incredible.
He was so good. He
was really good.
He's right up there with Deathstroke for me. I really enjoyed him. But I've said in the past, I like Jason Todd much better as the Red Hood than I did as Robin anyway. So
much more better.
Much more better.
Cheers, everybody.
So, yeah, that was one of my absolute favorite parts was the inscription of Batman's tombstone by Jason Todd. It was awesome.
Right on. So far between the DCeased main series and Unkillables, you've got to read the main series, really. You have to read that and the other offshoots. But Unkillables would be, I really enjoyed it. I have not read the others, but I enjoyed
read them all
more. Okay. Unkillables, I think, is my favorite so far. I'm looking forward to reading the other ones. Don't get me wrong. But my biggest surprise in the whole series so far, and there's great fun surprises, but when in Unkillables, Wonder Woman comes in, busts in, and remember I was talking about that whole life radar? She has that radar.
Yep.
Where's life at? She finds them all, busts in, and she's got the anti-life equation, in her. She's zombified, and she just splits Vandal Savage, who's been around for what, 5,000 years.
No. Wait a second. I learned something about Rose. Okay, so for those who don't know, Rose is Slade Wilson's daughter.
Yes.
Who is the Ravager? Who is the latest Ravager? The first Ravager would have been Slade's oldest son.
Jericho?
No, Jericho's the younger son. Geez, I cannot think of his name. I can't think of it right now.
It'll come to you. Go ahead though.
But
Ravager,
he was the first Ravager. Ravager died, and then Rose took over. And Rose is basically the half sister to Jericho and the original.
Okay.
She's got a different mom. Anyway, but I didn't realize that she has this power of this premonition where she can see into the future very shortly into the future.
Yeah, it's like having short-term memory, but it's short-term future sight.
And it's not always either. It's kind of random from the way I read that. I didn't know of this power that she had. I had no clue that she had this power. So that was kind of interesting. That was an interesting take that I had no clue of.
It was great though.
It played into that scene with Vandal Savage.
Yeah.
So Vandal Savage puts together this group of unkillables, quote unquote, and which he's got himself, Solomon Grundy, which Solomon Grundy is fantastic, by the way.
He's so good in this. Yes.
I mean, and how awesome is it? He can't be zombified because he's already a zombie.
He's already a zombie.
But he's not a zombie like the other zombies. Yeah. So he's kind of a lovable zombie in a way. Yes.
Sorta. Be born on a Monday. Yeah. And they do that phrase, that whole, they go through that. And then when he gets it, it's like, well, died on a Tuesday.
Well, I forget, somebody saves him and they're like, no, that'll mess up your whole poem. We can't let you die. Because that'll mess the entire poem up. So, I love Solomon Grundy, but he's in it. Solomon Grundy's in it. Creeper's in it. Cheetah, which Cheetah was great, by the way. I really liked her, and
great fight with her in Wonder Woman.
Yeah, she befriends a little girl, which calls her "Good Kitty."
Yeah,
Cheetah's like, nobody else gets to call me that.
Right.
I love that. That was fantastic. Cold and
Cold.
Deadshot and Bane and Mirror Master. Mirror Master. Oh my gosh, Mirror Master was hell of a twist.
Yes, it was.
Wow.
Yes, it was.
But so when it comes to that point, basically, Vandal wants to dissect both Creeper and Deathstroke. That
was a twist that he was, to figure out how they're able to,
what it is that gives them their healing factor.
Yes.
So that they can't die. That's what he's trying to do. And when that happens, Rose comes into play, Ravager comes into play, and she goes, uh-oh, we got to get out of here.
Yeah.
And Vandal's like, what's happening?
I don't want to spoil the surprise.
Right, I don't want to spoil the surprise. And it's freaking Wonder Woman. And then that's when she rips Vandal Savage in half.
Yeah, she just busted in the
It was savage.
It was savage. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, it was. And I thought, oh, they're all dead.
No, see, this is pretty cool because I mean, for the most of the series, Wonder Woman is the worst one of them all, of the zombies, for the most of the series. And it just goes to prove. So if you go back to Justice League what was it? Doomsday, I think. I forget what, I think it was Doomsday. Where Batman has a contingency plan for the entire Justice League, except for one member. And that's Wonder Woman. He doesn't know how to stop Wonder Woman. And this just goes to show how powerful she is. She's the one that they have the worst time trying to get rid of in the zombie universe.
Yeah.
The DCeased universe. Yeah.
I loved it how in the main series, Oliver Queen was just like, wait a minute. Batman's got this way to get rid of all of us. And then he goes, wait, he doesn't have anything for me? And he goes, I don't know if I should be offended or not, kind of thing.
Right. Well, he was offended by something else in this too.
Yeah.
No, it was it. That's right. It was this. Yeah.
Yeah. Because he was like, what, does it not think I'm worthy of having a contingency plan? Kind of a thing.
Sometimes I don't like Oliver. Sometimes he's kind of whiny. Anyway.
It was funny. It was good. I really, really enjoyed this series. So, Mike, thanks for tuning me into it because it's just fabulous.
I'm glad I could turn you on to this one because I agree. This is probably one of the best DC storylines in a long, long time. I really think it's fantastic. I mean, this I still wouldn't put it above like The Dark Knight Returns, some of my favorite Batman stories, but as a DC story, this is great. Man.
This would definitely be top 10. You need to read it.
Yeah, agreed. And if you're a fan of the zombie genre and you're a fan of DC comics, you got to read it.
Yeah. I will say I did add in the Infinite app. I don't know if you've noticed or not, but I added the Shiva character so I could follow her storyline with Cassie Kane, kind of. So, because I said when we did our episode with Derek from Three the Geeky Dads last week on the Bat Family, I made mention that I had the Night's End series or Night Quest series where Shiva comes in. I didn't know who this character was, Lady Shiva. I'm like, oh, so interesting, and trying to push Batman to break his one rule. And now I'm even more intrigued, not only in Shiva's character, but also in
the connection,
Cassandra Cain, and then Cassandra Cain character and their family dynamics. So I added those to the Infinite app to kind of follow that series. So
and this series does a good job of highlighting the Bat family and who all the Bat family. Because like I said, we had Batman, Tim, we had Bruce, Tim, and Dick. They all were the first ones infected out of the Bat family anyway. And took them out. But then we had this strengthening of the other members of the Bat family being Jason Todd. And then Jason, spoiler alert, Jason ends up marrying Rose, the Ravager. So technically that brings Ravager into the Bat family, which I like. I think that's
what a twist.
Yeah, nice little twist. And then Damian comes into it. Now, Alfred gives Damian the bat suit, gives him the bat mantle. So Damian takes over as the Batman. And again, as usual, I have a love-hate relationship with this.
Now we're coming full circle, everybody. Like we said, we talk about Damian. We've now come back.
So Damian is so weird in this. Because
what do you mean?
He becomes like, I don't know, lovey. It's weird. I don't understand. Like he hugs people, and this is not the Damian that we know.
Right.
So when Jason tells Damian that he and Rose are married, Damian he first hugs her and says, "Well, you know what? If you got father issues, you're going to fit right in with this family." And she's like, I could tell you some stories. And being the fact that Slade Wilson is her father, hell yeah. She's got a lot of issues. So yeah, she fits in perfectly with them. So yeah, I love that. So it was just kind of a neat extension. And then of course you had Cassandra Cain in there too. So it's just kind of this neat little extension of the Bat family that we got to see in a different dynamic of the Bat family.
It was good. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. And then I like they kind of highlight the relationship between Damian and Jonathan Kent, the Super Sons.
Is that in?
Well, that's coming. That's actually coming. Sorry.
Okay. And the marriage thing, I think, is coming because I don't remember that.
Oh shoot! I spoiled it for you. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's
I read it all.
Spoilers don't bother me.
Kind of blended.
It started jumbling. Yeah, I was sitting there going, "Oh,
sorry.
When did that happen?"
Oh, sorry.
I know things had sparked while they're sitting there defending all the orphans.
Right. See, I was thinking that happened on Unkillables. That's why I was like, okay, this should be fine. And but again, I've read them all, so they're starting to blend together for me. This is just part one. We're going to do part two in a couple weeks. So
that's correct. Yes.
Yeah, we should probably make sure everyone realizes next week we have a pre-recorded episode.
Yes.
So
I'm out of town. So just I'm out Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we're testing a pre-recorded launch onto our live stream, if that makes sense. So it'll go our normal time, but it's actually pre-recorded. So
right. So you won't. I mean, you can get on comment, of course. You can comment back and forth to everybody, and I might be in the chat next Saturday too. So I might be in there to chat with y'all if you get questions or anything. I'll do my best to answer. But we won't be able to answer it live because it won't be live. It'll be recorded, and we're going to be doing the Incredible Hulk, which was suggested to us by Sage Page Omega. We appreciate the shout out to from Sage, and thanks for the topic idea because
our road to She-Hulk, right?
Our road to She-Hulk. So, and then She-Hulk, we're not going to do full on after episode after shows. We decided what we're going to do with She-Hulk because She-Hulk's going to overlap with Andor. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the first 2 episodes
as after shows,
and then we'll get into Andor, and then once She-Hulk finishes, we'll wrap up She-Hulk in one big episode. So that's how we're going to handle She-Hulk. But we wanted to make sure we cover it, so because I think that's going to be an interesting show. And we got some cool Hulk stuff coming up that we've got planned to lead into She-Hulk. So
some other stuff. I'm excited. Yes.
Yep.
All right. Well, cool. Man, we've got a lot going on.
You ain't kidding. I got some reading I got to do.
Right. I hear you. I got to get caught up on DCeased.
Yeah, you got to finish DCeased. You got to read World War Hulk. We got She-Hulk issues that we're going to cover because we want to cover those before the She-Hulk starts. So, we got a lot of reading to do.
That we do. Whew, well,
usually nice movies, but now we're just doing a bunch of comic books.
We're doing some comic books. Yeah, I kind of like this.
It's fun.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Well, hey, we're going to wrap up because we've already gone a little over an hour, and really appreciate you hanging with us and talking some DCeased. Part 2 is going to be good. Part 2, it's going to be the brand new day, or no, A Good Day to Die, excuse me. Get good, and then Hope at World's End, Dead Planet, and I didn't realize there was a War of the Undead Gods series. So,
War of the Undead Gods series. Oh, I might have to look at that because I don't think that's included in a trade. We'll have to talk about that one off the air.
Collected editions. It is not in trade.
Okay.
Undead gods.
So I may have some more to read then.
Yeah, that's all I know.
Okay.
There's nothing really about that one. It must be a new.
Oh, maybe that's an upcoming thing.
It may be. We'll have to look into it. We'll let everybody know next time we talk DCeased.
Maybe it's a sequel to DCeased.
Ooh, I like it. All right. Well, cool beans, everybody. Hey, check us out on our website at twogeeksmike.com. I'll put that up on the captions. That is our website, and that is our hub for all things Two Geeks. You can get to everything, our Facebook page, our Ko-fi page, where you can support us, kind of like Patreon, but we like it much more better because, cheers, everybody, they don't take out as much money. So, yeah. Anyway, so we like Ko-fi. Plus, Ko-fi's got some neat aspects to it as well that we like. It really is about creators, for creators and stuff. So, Ko-fi, if you want to support us, you can. We got a new tier system. We got a new pricing system. And we're building it as we go along. So we're building this plane as we're flying it.
Nice.
If you want to contact us or anything, you can hit us at show@twogeeksmike.com. You can shoot us an email there. The other thing to let you know of is if you are helping us out in Ko-fi, either at the $1, the $2, or the $3 a month tiers, what that does is it also gives you access to our what's the word I'm trying to say all of a sudden? I can't say it. To our link to our, holy cow, my brain just dropped. The penguin just dropped.
Discord.
Angie, thank you. We're still trying to figure out some neat stuff to do with that, kind of a thing. So, but that gives you access to that. It's kind of cool automatically. Megan got that all set up automatic, or I can't remember all of how that happened, but pretty cool. So with that, am I missing anything off of that, Mike?
No, I mean, you get access to our classic sci-fi series. We've got episodes. We're getting ready to, in just a few weeks, record the Twilight Zone, which I'm really super excited about. We're gonna discuss the Twilight Zone, the movie, and the episodes that inspired it. I've got kind of a story about the filming of the original film, which is pretty freaking intense. So you sign up for Ko-fi and check that out, because it's going to be a good episode.
Right? Yep.
Please do. Please and thank you.
Please and thank you. Yes. All right, man. Well, Mike, hey, good show. I'm glad we're doing this on DCeased, and I don't know. We may even have to go into a part 3, it seems.
Maybe. We'll see.
All right, man. Well, I'll leave it up to you to sign us out. Thanks, everybody.
Oh, man, I didn't have a closing statement for this one. Shoot. All right, so with that said, I'll just stick with the usual Batman, over and out, and same bat time, same bat channel. Thank you for joining us today on the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast. Tune in next week when we will have more news and reviews. Until then,